tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Right, and we're gonna laugh along the way. We're gonna laugh all the way. Boo ha ha, boo ha ha, ha ha, boo ha ha. Let's put this one up. Woo, look at that. I have like all sorts of logos and all this different stuff now. Between all this stuff I've done over the last 5 years, I think I finally found a landing spot. So we're going to see. We're going to see. All right. I don't know who's here yet. So my bet's going to be it's either Amber or Michelle. It's Michelle. Dun, dun, dun. They're here first because I tell them I'm live. I literally tell them I am live. Have they stopped ranking the chat in YouTube? Did they stop doing that? Looks like they did. Good. That was the stupidest thing in the world. Ranking it. Thank you, YouTube, for ranking my comments. Shouldn't I be the one ranking them? I forgot to take my meds. I do this here often. Sorry. Well, I'm not really sorry. If I was sorry, I wouldn't keep doing it, would I? Yeah, but I haven't done anything to go out of my way to change it, have I? So I must not be that sorry. All right. Angel says, and you in my presence. Everybody's a winner. The Unmanageables. Yeah. The Unmanageables. Been thinking about this all week. I've kind of been putting it together in my head. And what it is they're going to be sock puppets. Okay. The evolution of sock puppets. There's a lot of I've been looking at it. There's a lot of stuff you can do with them now. Pretty cool stuff. All right. Now it's got to stay simple. Right. So number one, there's only going to be like 3 backgrounds. One's going to be a meeting. One will be like maybe a coffee shop. Right. And then, of course, a parking lot meeting. Got to have to throw that in there. But I've started one character, and we've named him Sal, but I'm not sure I'm sticking with that. I think I might want to go with Vinny. And what he is, he's a man. He's about 55 years old. He's a New Yorker. Right, who's a little rough, and he's been in the program for a while, but he didn't quite do all the work, so he's still kind of grumpy, and he's mean in the way that Red Foreman from that '70s show is mean. Right, and that's his personality. But we're adding different personality types on. Right, as I was coming down and getting ready to do this, I thought of one skit, where everybody's sitting around having an AA meeting, and one guy announces himself, yeah, I'm Bob, I'm Cali sober. And we can do a whole bit on Cali sober. I mean, AA meetings have given me so many topics and so many things and so many personalities that this ought to be a lot of fun. Right? And we need to have fun with it. I need to have fun with it. Yes, we're going to be giving people a hard time. So there's going to be a narrator. Name him Ebby. Yeah, Ebby's taken, and it's a name. I know why you're saying Ebby, but I mixed it up in my head. I thought you meant Epi. because I have a character already, and his name is Epi Epperman, but he's very rude. I mean, he's like really rude. So, but she's saying name him Ebby. That was the person that 12-step Bill. So, and at first I was gonna we had names like um Grant Serenity, right? Grant Serenity. And so I was making these names, but then Shannon brought up, she's like, Dion, you're using last names. Can't do that. I'm like, yeah, we got to fit it, right? So no last names. So we're not, don't need to do it with all those. Can't have too much in it. Now there's going to be a narrator, right? Like from like Young Sheldon, How I Met Your Mother. There's a lot of shows, Wonder Years. There's a lot of shows where there's somebody that is narrating, all right? But the narrator, I think I'm going to change it to Vinny, is Vinny's subconscious. It is his brain speaking to him, and his brain is correct, but he's crotchety, right? So I've come up with a couple of different things here, right? So I'm looking at doing it bi-weekly, but I still have a lot. I still got a lot to do. I mean, I need green screens. I need a lot of stuff. Not as much stuff as you would think. I'm keeping, this is going to be, oh my God. I mean, there's no budget. Let's put it that way. All right. So I'm going to share my screen a little bit with you here. All right. So what we have is we have Sal. He's the main guy. We have the rationalizer, the spiritual bypasser, the dry, angry one, the overzealous God type, and the newcomer. So these are all going to be different people in, right? So when it starts out, but it's going to continue on also. So in the beginning, Sal is going to be unhealed, but by the time it's done, he will become more open-minded, things like that, by interaction with the other puppets and things like that. So we can educate, but mostly this is going to be a fun thing. Now I can't do this alone, and you're going to probably have to be near me in order to help. So I may be asking some people if they'd like to make their own puppets and bring a character onto the show. Now, you will not, your face won't be on camera, but you will be on camera, right? You got to have at least some a little bit of acting skill, at least a little bit, right? So, yeah, I mean, I've come up with the name. I really like the name, the Unmanageables, because it's so unmanageable. The whole thing's just going to be, but what it's going to be is, number one, very, very fun. It's got to be fun. All right. So, but we can go beyond that. Think of, like Kermit the Frog. He'll do like interviews and sing songs with people. And so, like maybe Amber is doing a short thing, and Vinny comes on to help promote it or something, and he can kind of become kind of an icon, something, a working character, right? Sounds really fun to me. It's nice to be able to finally utilize the artistic side of Dion. Um, I really enjoy doing these things. I used to run live action role play. That was a challenge, man. I mean, I had to think, because I mean, and I'll just give you a kind of a quick overview. We were the people with the big boffer swords dressed up. We were, fighting, goblins, and I don't know, you might be fighting elves, if it's dark elf or something in here, chaotic good or something. I don't know. So, um, so I've always been really good at storytelling, but when I did live action role play, right, if 10 people paid for the weekend, and you play for the weekend, so you show up on Friday, you're in that character until Sunday, right? Well, I have to come up with a whole thing for them. Well, if they don't follow what I put in, I have to change the story on the fly. I had to do that, and I was really good at that. It was something I really enjoyed, It was very challenging. I always enjoyed being a dungeon master and the challenge of off the fly, on the fly kind of things. Hi, Lori. There we go. See, we're adding another one. See, I need these. The intellectual, the one who tries to be smart, tries to use logic and rationalizes decisions and struggles with surrendering humility because of ego and pride. And that might be Vinny himself. See, we have all these different personality types. Now, what we're not going to do is make fun of people. We're not going to do that. This needs to be, this is tongue in cheek kind of stuff, right? And in the beginning, it's probably going to be more adult. But why can't it be also education for kids? All right. So there's different ways that we can go. But I really like that. The intellectual. Yeah. The depressive type. The one who hates guys. There are so many. There are so many, right? The functioning alcoholic. See, Lori, we're just picking. See, you could do this all day with me, huh? She got with another victim, the one who uses the pet as a reason why they continue to do what they're doing, lack of accountability. Yeah. All right. And what are we? Well, we're kind of making light of our old personalities here. Sure, we are. Absolutely. Right. Now, this is part of advocating, but it's a lot more fun. And I think it'll reach more people. We could have one on rock bottom. Oh, Vinny would just love that one. All right. I'm not sure what more else to say. I mean, it's pretty, because I haven't really done one yet, but what I imagine is like the scene starts and the narrator sets the scene, and it'll be my regular voice. I'll be using my regular voice as the narrator. But otherwise, I plan on doing all the voices for these. Right? Lori says not making fun, showing how to properly use the tools of sponsorship recovery coaching. That's exactly it. We could even get into recovery coaching, a sober living, where we use tongue in cheek to educate. Yeah, I think it's a great way to go because I love advocating and I like having fun, right? But this allows me to use these voices that I've been piling up for years and years and years. Should we try Vinny's? All right, hold on. Give me a second here. It takes me a minute, and I'm on the spot, so it's a little bit harder. All right. So let's see here. Yo, where's Vinny? Vinny. He's got to be a little bit older, though, right? I think it's got to be a really, really thick New York, a really thick New York accent, if you know what I'm talking about here, right? But it's got to be a little bit raspier than that, right? So I'm gonna have to practice these. I'm gonna have to record them and get them down because if the voice changes, right? I watched the Muppets last night. I can tell that there are different people doing the voices on Kermit. The Kermit one, it's off. Miss Piggy wasn't even close. I mean, it was kind of close, but yeah, I'm used to it. All right. So you guys stay consistent with these. I'll be doing the female voices also. I do a really good British female voice. All right. And that's actually, Amber, that's a good idea. I need to start going to some of the New York meetings with you and kind of getting that down. I do a lot of different voices. We might have somebody with a Southern drawl. So feel free to come up with different voices and things. You like Vinny as the Italian? Yeah, we were going with Sal, but I think Vinny for some reason just works. But yo, I'm Vinny, man. So I'm really gonna have to practice that now. I feel a little embarrassed that I didn't because let's be honest, it kind of sucked. It kind of sucked. I'm going to have to work on it. But that's because, you know, I could do my Robin Leach for you. You want to hear the Robin Leach? Robin Leach. They call me Robin Leach because I leech off the rich people. I talk so loud, even the animals go, who the fuck are you? I think I went live just because I wanted to be the center of attention for a second. All right. So it's going to take much. What I'm going to do is, you see behind me, I'm going to be moving all this stuff out, and I'm going to put a green screen up. And this will be the studio also, right? When I'm done with the green screen, I will take it down so I have my regular background. I plan on doing 2 episodes a month. How come I can't see other people's comments on your videos? There you go. Better? Wow, how big is that? What the? Overlay off. Give me a second here. Compact. There we go. Is that better? Custom, small, medium, large. They changed this whole thing on me here. There you go. Now you can see it, because I don't plan on there we go. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Is that better, Lori? All right. The reason I don't usually do it this way is because I started making clips, and what happened is the camera would cut off here and have the comments all the way side and cut off half my face. So that's why I started doing that, but I'm not going to be making clips out of this one. If you're on Facebook, you can't see YouTube comments. You should be able to on here. You should be able to see them now on Restream. Who knows? If you're not, let me know. Yeah. If you're on YouTube, you can't see Facebook comments. You should be able to. So, okay. All right. You know, maybe Vinny has a girlfriend. You know, there's a lot of different ways that I can go with this, and that's why I'm looking for suggestions. And as far as production goes, I could use some help. If you know some people that are good with production, things like that, I could use some help. You know, it's going to be simple and straightforward in the beginning. It can be a one-man show, but it would be a lot more fun if 3, 4, 5 people were involved, and you know, there are these different characters getting different ideas for. Because see, now then I got to write a script. I've got to do the voices. I've got to do the background. I got to do the. So there's a lot, and I haven't even started making hand puppets yet. I've just been working on the background. I figured it was probably better to come up with the ideas of the character and then make the sock puppet that way, if that makes sense. Or maybe I should make the sock puppet and create the voice out of the puppet itself. Who knows? Who knows? All right. I'm running out of things to say here. Let's see if anything right here is kind of all right. Now I do have to be kind of careful when I do this, because what we don't want to do is single people out and make them feel like jerks or feel bad because of who they are and things like that. I don't want to go that route. But I do know that this is going to take a lot of work. And if other people can help me, see, now that I did that, nobody's commenting. All right. And I mean, even right now, you know, Lori gave me Lori gave me a couple ideas. All right. Amber says, so you took a lot off your plate and feeling free. You appear really happy, like you're like a pink cloud. I might be on one. I enjoy the challenge. And I've been trying to find a place for Dion because it isn't working the way that I'm doing it. And if I can go a different route, and do something that I would like to do that I enjoy, you know, I mean, it could turn into a freaking phenomenon for all I know. But I think it's a great way to get a message across while having a lot of fun doing it. So, it is kind of scary, but I'm not really. And I wasn't even sure how much I was going to announce it because, in a way, I don't want people to know that it's me. Didn't say that. Michelle did. I know. Oh, sorry. Oh, I mixed up a name. Why did you call me Amber? Dear Lord, if that's what you're going to give me crap about my dyslexia. Here's my question. Then why don't you go live and do what I do? Huh? I'm sorry I mixed you two up. I apologize. It'll probably happen again. Amber, you're lucky I don't call you Brandy. So, hey, because I always mix up my sister Brandy and my Aunt Amber. I have an Aunt Amber. She's my favorite auntie, by the way. I don't think I ever told you that. We're women. We don't like being called other women's names. Oh my God. Oh, if I had a puppet, I'd take that. So yeah, you got called Amanda today. Amanda, hug and squeeze. I do apologize if I offended you. Right? Having like, maybe Vinny's going over a four-step with somebody, right? So there's all these instances that happen in AA that we all do that are just funny. Like putting off the four. I could have a whole episode on putting off the four-step. Right? Now, I'm not looking at doing full-length episodes in the beginning, so don't plan on like 24 minutes of entertainment, 5, 6 minutes to start. Okay? Because it'll give me an idea, it'll give me a flow, it'll help me work on it. And then as I get more help, then we can expand more, we can have more episodes. Right. Um, what I'm thinking about doing, and I'll see how much it is, I may not even need this. I might be able to go down to my local rec center and do this. Because a lot of times rec centers have spaces for you to do creative things. So I might be able to book a room and use a real camera, have a good green screen and things like that too. So that's always an option. These are all the ideas that I need, and there's a million of them right now. Um, and what I like about it, this is what I've noticed. Every person that I've brought it up to so far has come up with more ideas. That means it's a good idea. It means it's hooking, right? Um, I did have a question for everybody, and the thing is, I just named it, so I'm already forgetting the freaking name of the whole show. Oh, you should hear what it wrote me. I'm gonna scroll all the way up to the top, and I started a new Chat GPT chat, right? Um, and I said, brand new concept for Dion, a sock puppet recovery show. And it replied, Dion, this must be the most unhinged genius idea you've had with a laughy face. All right. And the concept is actually the sock that saved my life. That was the original name of the show. And we might keep it, right? Hi, Angel. Good to see you. But I'm gonna need socks. I'm gonna need all sorts of things, because I want my grandkids to be able to get in on this and things like that with making the puppets and things like that. So we have our five archetypes. Um, but but what do you think of the name of the show, The Unmanageables? Because it means a group of people, right? So, and what are a bunch of alcoholics or their lives are unmanageable, right? So, I think it's a great working name, but I also love somehow we got to put in there the sock that saved my life. So, this is what I'm thinking, okay? Because sometimes when Amber describes her higher power, she talks about that it's just a neutral word like shirt. that there are many different types of shirts, like t-shirts and gowns and blouses and sweatshirts and stuff, right? She does a much better job at relaying that one than I do. So in this case, the sock could be the higher power. The sock that saved my life, right? Or am I pushing it? Am I stretching a little too far on that? Because it does got to be a little weird. What do you mean room is open? Where are you going? I am going to a meeting today. Oh, is he? All right. I'll be there in about 5 minutes. Is that in 12 minutes, honey? 4 p.m. CST, 2 p.m. Yep. All right. I will be there. I'm going to show up to that. Thank you for the invite. Because I told you that I would go next time. I asked you for help. You gave it to me. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of me. So, who wants to join in with me at this? And you don't have to be necessarily in Colorado to help me write scripts and come up with names and these other ones. Yeah, and you don't. And why am I coming to you guys? Because I attract what I am, which means my followers are a great resource for this, because you're a lot like me. All right. We can have one on, is it alcoholism or is it bipolar? Mental illnesses. We could these things are hard to talk about. So sometimes, who knows, suicide might be something that we talk about. Relapse, slips. I mean, there's so many things, right? Michelle, I didn't answer you earlier. She said, can I be the enlightened character sharing wise wisdom? I don't see why not. All right. Or maybe people, I don't keep skipping what you said on purpose. Calm down. And I just said it. You're like, oh man, I just hit enter. I just hit enter. All right. So send me your ideas. Okay. And, I will do the best that I can. Okay. We'll see what happens. All right. We'll see what happens. All right. Well, I'm going to go hit this meeting. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I really do. I mean, things are, I mean, they're like picking up. I'm going to give you some of my numbers. And no, these aren't huge for other people, but for Dion, I mean, 196, 470, 883. These are my downloads from my clips, not downloads, but watches. 628, 523, 535, 2,703. What I've also noticed is a lot of people are sharing my stuff. They're commenting on it. It's starting to make traction. So that is because of my regulars. Because my regulars show up. And because you are here, I'm able to do a better job. Okay. I wouldn't be able to do this without any of you. And I wouldn't want to. So, all right. I'm going to go jump in Amber's sponsorship meeting and I'm going to learn something. Why not? All right. So good stuff. Yes, I'm actually, I got to tell you, it's been a long fucking time since I was actually excited about something. A long time. I don't get excited about things. So what do we call that? We're going to call it progress. So thank you all for being here. That being Michelle, who got here first. See, I singled you out just for you. All right. We had Lori, we had Amber, we had Angel. Thank you all for being here. You're four of my biggest supporters, and I appreciate it. So this worked out well. I love you. I really, really do. Peace out. And we'll use the old line.